You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show. The preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. This is Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. She does that so elegantly. I just love how she delivers that line. Maybe I'll just have her sing the whole show. I'll just give her the questions and she can operatically deliver the show, as it were, and then we'll force the guests to respond in an operatic voice fashion. They have to sing all their answers when they come on the show. Does that sound good, Gavin? Should we force guests to do that?
Oh, definitely not me. Anybody else, feel free.
There you go. So, guys, we have an amazing guest on the show, as always we do. The CEOs, the billionaires, the White House advisors, the Pulitzer Prize winners, the most amazing authors in the world that come to you and bring you the distilled version of their amazing stories that make you just go, I'm buying 5 of their books. So there you go. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the Tickety Talkity, and Chris Voss, Facebook.com. I think I said them all. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, we have an amazing multi-book author on the show. Gavin Stone is going to be joining with us. He wrote the books How to Tell If Someone Is Lying. Well, Chris Voss's show is on. No, I'm just kidding. He's talking. How to Tell If Someone... Cut it right, Chris. Jesus. How to Tell If Someone Is Lying. Gavin Stone reveals the methods used by government organizations and intelligence agencies to detect their lies. It doesn't say their lies. Stop it, Chris. To detect lies, folks. You'll find it. There's a link on the Chris Voss Show. Comes out July 31st, 2022. And he's also written a novel. It's called The Unforgiven Spy. Book 1 in the Spies for Hire series. Came out on November 12th. 2022. Boy, he was really prolific in 2022. Were you writing during COVID? Was that what it was?
Yeah, and a load of other things as well.
There you go. Gavin Stone served as a security and intelligence covert specialist. He has over 20 years of applied experience, globally deployed by government organizations such as the British Ministry of Defense, corporations, and ultra high net worth VIPs. His specialty is human intelligence, otherwise known as HUMINT. I'm having some humans now. They're really tasty. A little bit of mint with some hummus. Within it, he was adept at the full required spectrum of tradecraft skills. Of particular note is Stone's expertise in surveillance and anti-surveillance, together with the time-sensitive human analysts in high-risk dynamic situations. Welcome to the show, Gavin. How are you?
Thank you. I am blessed. Any day above ground is a good one.
There you go. The British Ministry of Defense. So what was it like hanging out with James Bond?
No.
I'm just kidding. We can't talk about James Bond, he said, otherwise they'll have to kill me. So Gavin, give us your .coms. Where can you find people on the internet?
I just basically stick to social media, LinkedIn. So I'm on Facebook, Gavin Stone Author. Twitter, I think it's at Author Gavin, and YouTube.
Yeah. Have you ever hung out with that Q person or M?
I've hung out with the real life version of Q, the quartermaster. Yeah,
oh, really?
He was a very good friend of mine. Introduced to me by a guy who was the chef. Always get to know the chef.
Yeah.
The chef he's the man who has control of the food and who gets the good stuff and who doesn't. So
that's what I used to always say in prison. I don't know what that means, but it sounded good in my head. You've written these 2 books. Let's launch into one here. How to Tell If Someone's Lying. So I imagine you've incorporated a lot of the techniques you used working for the Queen to do a lot of this. Tell if people are lying.
Yeah. So it's something I've done called combined communication analysis, where it's a mixture of psychology, body language, statement analysis, all put together to be able to kind of get a grip.
And we've had some body language experts on the show. Body language is a really interesting sport where you can tell nonverbal cues, and you can read what people are telling you. Sometimes it's not what people say, it's what they're doing, maybe. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. Those can be some of the biggest tells. You're looking for any kind of change.
Mm. So tell us about your kind of career, what went into it, why'd you get into that sort of trade?
It was accidental. It was a friend of mine come knocking on the door and got me into a world of stuff that I didn't know anything about, and
That's usually how it works on Fridays. Yeah.
yeah. So I ended up doing a job for him, just finding somebody. Found him pretty quick, and he was like, "Kind of, you're pretty handy at this," and it just literally grew legs from there.
There you go. And you go to work for the Queen Mum in her intelligence agency, or what used to be the Queen Mum, God rest her soul, or however you guys say it in England there. And now you're stuck with, I don't know what you're stuck with. There's an old horse in there somewhere. Uh,
We got Charlie.
Sounds like your guys' problem. That's why we defected over here as us Yankees. So give us more of a 30,000 overview of what's inside the book and what you're serving up to folks.
Okay, so with this book, it's different to your normal body language books where it's just going to kind of tell you what a particular movement or action means. This teaches you how to observe it, how to become a master of it, and then how to kind of bit by bit learn it until you're proficient in it.
There you go. That's what I want to do. I want to be good at when people lie to me so that I can immediately go, aha, God, you're full of shit, as George Carlin used to say. And learning body language and nonverbal cues. I mean, I suppose eye movement probably has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my problems is I don't like to look at some people when I talk to them, but it's not because I'm trying to be deceptive. It's just because they're ugly. And that's
Yeah,
usually,
a bit like me.
and that's usually when I'm looking in the mirror practicing a speech.
Yeah, I can fully relate there. But my mother always said I've got a face for radio. And so if when it comes to eye accessing cues, I mean, yeah, it is something that's you don't have to spend it all the time staring at them. And in fact, there's this common misconception as well when it comes to eye contact that if somebody's staring at you and they can't maintain eye contact, that they're lying. But it's more the other way around. A liar will maintain that constant eye contact during the kind of telling of the lie and afterwards to see if you're believing them. They're watching, taking in
Always making sure that you are buying the system,
exactly.
huh? See, that's what I
Yeah,
do. I just lie and look off and thing, and I just don't care if you believe my lies or not. That's how
best
I
way to
roll.
be.
Yeah. I'm just like, maybe they'll buy this. I don't really care. I'm just making it up over here. But yeah, that's really interesting because I suppose someone who's trying to hit you as a mark, they're trying to lie to you, deceive you, gaslight you. They're looking to see if their little actions working. Then.
Yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Now you mentioned there's 2 reasons people tell a lie. Only 2?
Only two primary reasons. Everything will go back to those two primary reasons.
Mm-hmm. So what are they? Can you tease what they are?
I can. So there's quite simply protection or gain.
Ah,
Everything that they do is either for protecting themselves or someone else, or gain one way or another. Whether it's monetary gain, whether it's a psychological situation where they're just feeling good from the gain of telling the lie. But
mhm.
it all comes down to those two.
There you go. And I've had 2 people that I've met in life, and I believe they were narcissists. I mean, like real narcissist people. Quit accusing every one of your ex-boyfriends of being a narcissist. There's a clinical thing, and there's only I think it's like 5% of people. So I've met 2 people that were like profound liars. Like who's that liar that recently got kicked out of Congress? And just everything he
Could be
says
any of
is like
them.
he probably on your end too
Yep.
of the of the pond, as they say, in the House of Lords.
Mhm.
But we just had some guy get kicked out of Congress, and like everything he says is a lie. We had a president that way too recently, and but I met 2 people in my life that they they just lying was like a sport, it seemed. But then also they had built, you could see after a while the stack of cards that they had built, and it was their life really, and what they would tell people about their life. And it was a stack of cards where this little lie and that little lie and build this stack of lies and this stack of lies, and they would have to constantly maintain their lies and make sure everyone was a buy-in to their lies. And of course, I would just look at them and be like, I just accept you as a mentally challenged idiot person. And I'm just doing this for, I don't know, the Make-A-Wish Foundation or something. It's just charitable for me to listen to whatever bullshit you're selling today. And they would repeat them over and over again. It was kind of interesting. But their whole life was a lie. Everything was built and it just was stacks and stacks. And I used to sit and look at it and just be like, Jesus, if I could convince them that this one part, right, this one card right here was a lie, that whole thing just comes crumbling down. It was like interesting to see the intricacy of how it all molded together. You ever met people like that?
I have, and usually it comes down to some kind of a personality trait where sometimes it can be through some kind of trauma or any kind of thing where they just want to converse with somebody, they want to be popular, they want to connect, so they just can't help themselves from lying, and it becomes habitual because they get this dopamine rush from having the kind of conversation where somebody's paying attention, so they get into this kind of habit of lying about absolutely everything because it pays dividends for them with the chemical rush that their brain gets from it.
Yeah. And one of them was the one who tried to date me, and the lies that she would tell were so insane, like they were so illogically out there. Like you're just like you must be used to talking to really stupid people because no one of any sort of base knowledge of operation of the world would believe that. Like I'll just make up something here because some of our lives were about business, and just like it's like me telling you that the sun is the color purple at all times, and it doesn't really emit heat. The moon does, stuff like that, where any common lay person can be like, that's full of shit. But that was sort of spinsters lies.
Yeah, and of course we live in a world where it's kind of considered rude to call somebody out or to be argumentative. You get some people who will just say, "Don't believe you," and that's it, and they don't care about the consequences. And then you get other people who they will wait until that person walks away and then go, "Did you hear that? That was absolute crap." So but yeah, we do because of the social norms of society. We tend to kind of let these people live their life and then just laugh at them afterwards.
Yeah, I try and call people on the show. I mean, I don't call them a liar. I'm just like, what you just said is so full of shit. It's not even funny. But I'll be like, no, hang on, whoa, we're not platforming that. What? No, here's the correction to what you just said. And it doesn't happen very often, but it's interesting because it's amazing. You'll see that, and you're just like, where are you at in your life? One of the things you talk about in your book is mastering the CCA, and this has been created by you. Tell us what that is and what it means.
So what we're looking at with CCA is a mixture of as much information as you can take in when you're observing somebody. So you're looking at their blink rate, you're looking at their eye-accessing cues, you're looking at their breath location, whether they're chest breathing or belly breathing, the rate of their breathing, if you can. So you're looking at their body language, and you're also listening to the spoken word, because that means a lot in the statement analysis side of things. And the psychology area. So you're taking in all this information, and then you're trying to, decide, is there a cluster, is there a pattern of red flags, if you want to call them that, to indicate deception.
So it's a bit of a stacking if that gives you the tip off too, huh? A stacking of different cues.
Exactly. So if somebody, for example, they're asking questions and question number 1, everything's normal. Question number 2, everything's normal. You get to question number 3, and all of a sudden their voice tone changes, their blink rate goes up, they start, the breath location changes, they cross their legs and fold their arms and then answer with a non-answer. Then all of a sudden you're like, okay, something's very different there. That's a hell of a lot of red flags.
A non-denial, as they say in politics. So that's really interesting. Looking at the stacking of the cues. Now you talk about how to get people to techniques to get to a full confession and discover what the truth really is. So you have ways to kind of dig people out and be like, maybe help them realize, well, at least they're full of shit, or at least you figure out what the truth is, like how to get to the bottom of it. Is that do you have to fly them with black helicopters into Poland in an underground bunker and waterboard them for that? Is that
That's
how it
it.
works?
Yeah, tell them some water, and you generally get anyone say anything. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. So in the kind of what you want to do is kind of sit the person down calmly, and I can't go in too deep into the intricacies because it'll just take forever.
yeah.
The
I mean,
most
people
important,
need to buy the book, right?
yeah. But the most important thing is not to let them give any kind of denial. Cut them off at any kind of denial, and just say, look, we'll get to it. Don't worry. Let them know. That it's fine. Whatever's happened is it's fine, and we can it's a fixable problem. And kind of don't be calling them out on something. Like if you turn around, and go, you're full of shit, you're full of shit. They're just going to deny it. So I'm sorry. Can I swear on here? I do
Yeah, you
apologize.
can. It's totally
That's
fine.
all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, because
We're not
they'll
the
just.
BBC.
Oh no! Well, there is that bonus. So yeah, I'm saying nothing. I can't. So yeah, they'll go into kind of sub mule mode if you call them out, and they'll kind of back up. You'll make it worse for yourself.
So how do you well, we'll have people buy the book. I think that's important because we want to talk about your second book here, so we want to squeeze that in as well. So I love this idea. I need to get better at, because I always felt like sometimes I just want to walk around with one of those lie detector tests, and like in the Fockers movie, and hook people up to it and be like, now tell me your story. Maybe we should do it on the show. Maybe we should have everyone, including me, hooked up to a lie detector test, and then we interview them on the show. That'd be an interesting show, maybe, huh?
Well,
The
here's
lie
a little
detector
bonus. In the back of the
podcast.
book, it tells you how to beat one.
Oh, it does. Wow. All right. Well, I'm still digging that hole in the backyard for my last enemy, so I may want to buy the book today and get that shipped over so I can deal with that. But there you go. So check out that book, folks. How to tell when someone is lying. This is really important. Of course, if you're married, I think we all know what's going on there. Your other book, The Forgiven Spy, book 1 in the Spies for Hire series. Tell us about this book.
So the Unforgiven Spy started off as something many, many years ago as a kind of a drunken concept when it was a family Christmas, and I heard from when I'd been doing training, you should write a book, and I was actually talking to my mother-in-law about it, and she said, oh well, you should. She's actually a writer, so it was kind of she was prompting me to actually give it a go. So of course, after Christmas, I went home. I thought, yeah, why not? And I sat there and I plonked out this kind of 50,000-60,000 word, what I thought was a book. And I emailed it over to her. Said, there you go. There's nothing to this writing malarkey. Have a look at that. And she said, no, that's not a book. She said, that's a report.
Oh,
yeah. So I got
the
seriously
ribs.
insulted. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She didn't hold back at all.
Right in the ribs.
So she sent it back to me with a lot of tips without Vaseline, and said, you really need to get better at this. So I took writing courses, and very, very many failed attempts, and kind of educational lessons later, I finally got a manuscript together.
There you go. You said tips without Vaseline. That's all I'm going to say about that. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside the book, and kind of a synopsis, if you will.
Okay, so it's about a contractor, which is mainly what I've done throughout my career. Is contracted for different employers, whether it's been like the intelligence agencies, the British government, the American government, or private clients, that kind of thing. So it's about a contractor who works in intelligence, and when his daughter's born, he decides to take a back seat and not work in the field anymore. The problem is one of his former enemies comes and kind of wants a bit of revenge and takes his wife and daughter. So so he has to deal with that, get them back, and then bring the whole thing to an end. So it's
he wanted them back? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being shit.
I can't say.
Oh, you have to read the book to find out. Well, that's kind of
exactly.
Yeah. It sounds like an old Rodney Dangerfield. Take my wife, please. Or wait, no, that was somebody before that. Black and white era. God, I can't place the comedian. Anyway, there you go. So it sounds like you incorporated into the book a lot of your experience in the intelligence business, and use some of those the trade craft and stuff that you were aware of, and probably your experiences over 20 years, maybe.
Yeah. So I've taken different things from different experiences in my life and put them all together in one story. So everything is written from first-hand experience. The tradecraft revelations in there are There's more tradecraft revelations in that book than any other book I've ever known. I've deliberately crammed it in to try and get it banned. So we go straight to number one. And everything in there, like I say, the continuity, 100%. If I say a website exists, it does. If I say this place exists, it does. The only thing that's not kind of true, as it were, is the bit about the wife and daughter getting kidnapped. I've never paid anybody to make that happen yet.
Not yet. There's still time.
Yeah.
So there you go. I had a girlfriend once who would come home from work and she never had any interesting stories, and I thought I should have you kidnapped just so you can come home someday and have a really cool story to tell me. Some people are really fucking boring. They just need to be kidnapped. I think there's a shirt I'm making that says that.
Yeah, I think I bought my brother a shirt which says fat people are harder to kidnap.
that's why I overeat. Yeah, you got an extra. If you're gonna put me in the van, you got to make sure the shock absorbers are upgraded in that thing, and you're gonna need a big bag to go over my head, and I need those double size handcuffs. Don't ask me how I know. Anyway, that sounded really weird. Like that meant to me imply that I've been arrested a lot, but that actually sounded weird the other way. So backfiring on me on there.
Roll with it.
Roll with it. Yeah, that's what she said. That's what my mistress, is a mistress, whatever, my BDSM mistress said. Just roll with it. I think roll with it is my safe word. All right, I'm just rolling on the jokes today. Sorry, I had to really enjoy that joke. Sometimes they just come right off and you're just like, wow, that was good, I should write that down. Anything more we need to know about the Unforgiven spot? Why is this guy unforgiven? Sounds like a Metallica song.
That would actually probably give the whole story away. So I won't say that. What I will say is it's written in a unique way that's different to a lot of your usual spy stuff. So you've got these kind of tradecraft sections in it. And I wrote it deliberately this way, so it's like if you've got your seasoned kind of spy-fi readers, they can look past those little bits and just stick to the novel. Whereas if you've got somebody who kind of is new to this and they go, well, what's a skiff? What's this mean? What's it, and each and all the way through it'll explain, what the tradecraft is, why it's done a particular way or not done another way, and and that kind of thing. So it can be written as a field manual as well if you wanted to.
There you go. Well, tell me how to beat a lie test.
The first book does.
So buy the first book for that, and give the tradecraft secrets to the other one. Exactly. So very interesting and fun to have you on the show, Gavin. Yeah. Anything more you want to pitch out on the show as we go out?
Am I allowed to plug my YouTube channel?
Please, yeah. Anything you want.
Fantastic, because what I do, I get a load of friends from the intelligence community where they come on to the YouTube channel, and it could be FBI, KGB, CIA, and we all come on and we all have a chat about kind of stories from the field, things we've done, and kind of operations, what things that have gone wrong, things that have gone right, and all the good laughs, all the good chuckles, because it never goes right.
That's true. I mean, nothing ever flies perfectly, especially when you're doing something like that involves people and timelines and people with guns. I'm sure, they're always not voluntary to we'll just roll over for this. So there you go. What's been fun, Gavin, to have your show? Give us your .com so we can find you on the interwebs, please.
Certainly. So Twitter is Gavin Stone Author. I'm on LinkedIn. I think if you just type in Gavin Stone, I should be pretty much close to the top. Facebook again is Gavin Stone Author, and YouTube is Gavin Stone Author. I've got a correction to make. Twitter is @AuthorGavin, I believe.
There you go. Thank you very much, Gavin, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
There you go. Order of the book, folks, wherever fine books are sold. How to Tell If Someone is Lying. Gavin Stone reveals the methods used by governments, organizations, intelligence agencies to detect lies, and the Unforgiven Spy. Book 1 in the Spies for Hire series. Is there a second one in the works yet that you're working on?
I'm working on parts 2 and 3 simultaneously.
There you go. You're going to turn that into a whole Jack Ryan thing. We've had all those authors on. They're great. So there you So thanks for coming by the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com / Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com / Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and Chris Voss Facebook.com. Be good to each other. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.